Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. And we will start the 5th webinar of the EaP Plus project, devoted to the opportunities for research infrastructures in Horizon 2020. And my name is Olga Zyrina. I'm representing one of the project partners from Poland of the Institute IPPT PAN of the Polish Academy of Sciences. And I will start the presentation by talking about the EaP Plus project and its activities in very short. First of all, EaP Plus is a multi-level support action, and it's a 3-year-long project funded from Horizon 2020 and dedicated to the EU EaP science, technology and innovation cooperation. The project will end next year. It includes partners from all the 6 EaP countries and from several EU member states. And the objectives of the project are to support the EU EaP policy dialogue, to foster interaction between EU and EaP researchers and to promote Horizon 2020, and also to enhance the EU EaP research innovation partnership. What we do within the project is we provide grants for EaP researchers to attend brokerage events in EU or preparatory meetings for Horizon 2020. I will mention about it in the next slide. We conduct information days and we support the NCP network in all EaP countries by providing trainings, awareness campaigns. We also conduct the cooperation with scientific diaspora and we use the input from the previous INCANET EaP project, and there were 6 diaspora workshops organized. And we also developed the webinars devoted to the Horizon 2020, and we have specific innovation-related webinars. We will have the next webinar already on December 18th, so please note that, and it will be about SMEs. And next one on financial and legal issues. And also there will be the webinar on research and innovation staff exchange opportunities, which is called RISE. And we hope to have a webinar for program committee members. The RDI webinars planned, one is in February about engaging academia-industry collaboration, and one on internationalization of RDI activities, which will be in May. And if you would like to suggest a webinar topic, please contact the project or me directly, and we can think about how to reply your questions. And I promised to talk about EaP grants for networking. There was a 4th round of these grants announced within the project. The grants support research institutions, SMEs, industry, local authorities, and civil societies. And the grants are intended for attending either brokerage event or preparatory meeting. And you can apply for one event scheduled from October this year until June next year. And the final deadline for submission is May 30th next year. You can find the guidelines on our project website if you go to EaP Plus grants for networking. This is the project website in general, where there is a lot of more information. And I'm next passing the word to my colleague, Rafał Duszmał. He is a Polish national contact point for information and communication technologies and also research infrastructures. You can see his contact details, and If you would like to ask a question, you can ask during the presentation using the note board, which is on the left side of your computer, or you can wait until the end of presentation and also write to us and ask questions. So we need to load a presentation and it will take one moment. So please wait one more minute and the presentation will start in a moment.
Hello everyone, my name is Polosma, and I will today speak to you about research infrastructures opportunities in the Horizon 2020 framework program. Sorry for the small delay with the upload. Okay. Sorry. First of all, what's the point of the research infrastructure part of the Horizon 2020? We could summarize it in these 2 points: something for the institution and something for the researcher. And we will try to look deeply into this. But to start, we need to understand clearly what the research infrastructure is from the point of view of the European Commission and the program, because that's a very broad definition. As you can see, there is a lot of things that could be defined as research infrastructure. We not only talk here about big accelerators or I don't know, labs with huge lasers or things like that, but also all biological collections, tissue banks, genome banks, data storages, scientific vessels and other vehicles that could be used for research. Many things. Also libraries, special archives, all that is needed for the social sciences also. So it's very broad definition. So there is a lot of researchers that could benefit from the program. Here we can see the structure of the Pillar 1 of Horizon 2020 framework program, and we are now talking on the bottom 1 point, research infrastructures. In this work program for 2018 to 2020, we have a few subdomains of the program. Its development and long-term sustainability of pan-European research infrastructures, interoperability and European Open Science Cloud, integrating open research infrastructures of European interest, European data infrastructures, and two others. We will mention a little bit every point of this list, but our main focus today will be the integrating activities. And because of some technical problems, I cannot see your questions when you are writing them, so I will ask my colleague Olga to notify me if there are some questions. And we will try to answer them during the presentation if it will be in line with what I would like to say today, and if it will concern some other domains, we will take it at the end of the presentation. So, for the start, pan-European research infrastructures. That's a very specific call, and that's the phrase I will be using a lot in this presentation, because the calls are very specific in this program. The InfraDev call is connected with the S3 roadmap research infrastructures. We talk here about big investments, big research infrastructures. It doesn't have to be single-sided, it could be distributed, but generally speaking, these are infrastructures that were already discovered as very important for the European landscape and the European research area. But they could be on various stages of development. These are many years projects and very costly designs. So here we have 3 stages that the Horizon 2020 program is supporting, and it's design studies, preparatory phase, and individual support to particular infrastructures. To understand more what is about, I encourage you to check on the S3 roadmap. S3 stands for European Strategic Formal Research Infrastructures, and it's an European organization and forum of member states of the European Union that is preparing this exercise and monitoring the existing construction projects in existing infrastructures, and preparing the roadmap for developing the next ones. Last roadmap was published in this September, and it's available on the S3 website. So I invite you to check in there and see if you are interested in these projects and collaboration with them. If there are any questions raised about this after the reading, I encourage you to contact me. I'm open to answer your questions in later time. Okay, European Open Science Cloud. That's one of the newest initiatives of the European Commission. Very important, I think, for the researchers to understand what it's about. The concept is to make data more useful for researchers, especially data that are produced in the public funded research. So the goal is to, via this portal, Open Science Cloud, to give researchers the access to data produced by other researchers in a very useful and open manner, taking into account the FAIR principles, sites for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable data. I encourage you also to get familiar with this initiative. You can follow the publications of the European Commission and the EOSC Hub and the EOSC pilot projects. And now we'll talk a little bit about the call for 2019. We have two topics now. One is has deadline in the end of January 2019. That will be a very, I guess, very competitive call. It's a bottom-up approach, and the Commission asking for developing new services that could be included in the European Open Science Cloud, and they are fit for purpose and sustainable, open to new groups of the researchers. What is important, very important, this call, it's stated clearly in the description of this topic in the work program, is that the proposals need to consider what was already developed in the projects founded under Infra call from 2017. That means projects EOSC Hub and Open Air. And also that going for this project, we need to have already some technology, and our services should be based on the technology that already reached TRL 6, Technology Readiness Level 6, and before the end of the project, we brought at least to level 8. And as you can see, there is some expected impact from this project, supporting wider access to the resources, facilitating interdisciplinary collaboration, fostering innovation potential. And the first one, which is very important, and is I would say a keyword now in the Commission, is the co-design approach for and Commission expects to include this also in these proposals, to co-design, include researchers into co-design the new services to deliver better product for them. And the second topic, Infra EOSC 06, is connected with the EOSC portal, and taking into one all thematic clouds and gates portals that are providing access to many services to get them work in accord and under the umbrella of the EOSC. So again, important note to take into consideration the Infra Central project and what is expected to establish EOSC as an open to all cross-border cross-discipline access point for data-driven science for all communities, and this way enhance the relevance of EOSC for all researchers, and to to enhance their capabilities to tackle current challenges, societal, industrial, all that we are facing now. And the deadline is 20th of March 2018. Now we will skip for a moment the integrating activities. We'll be back to them, and we'll quickly go through the other parts of the program. And so we have European data infrastructure. For now, this has ended in this program. Now all that had been foreseen now is transferred to Euro HPC joint undertaking, a new approach to tackle the challenges in the HPC area in Europe. The joint undertaking has recently started to operate and is now organizing. And in the first half of the next year, we are expecting new work program to be published with calls concerning HPC technologies, HPC infrastructure, to start as soon as possible next year. But for now, the dates are unknown. So if you are interested in this matter, I encourage you to follow Euro HPC joint undertaking website. And unfortunately, I forgot to provide the link here, but it's accessible by the search engines and from the European Commission website. So you can follow this, and when the calls will be published, you will be informed. Okay, the last two, demonstrating the role of research infrastructures in the translation of open science into open innovation, and support policy and international cooperation. These supporting actions are quite specific and directed on supporting the whole ecosystem of research infrastructures, innovation infrastructures. And these are main work projects involve also in standardization processes and helping to operate, support advisory coordination bodies like ESFRI that was mentioned already, ERG, and also interacting with third countries and tackle the problem of internationalization of research infrastructures and collaboration between the European Union and other countries in this area. It would be very long to dwell on these topics. So if it lies in the area of your interest, I strongly encourage you to dig into the work program for these two parts. And if you find it that is something for you interesting, or you have some questions, please feel free to contact me individually, and I will be glad to provide you with help for that. Okay. Okay, I heard here that we have a question. I will check in the other window. Okay. So the infra is only for continuation of previous projects of that kind. I would say like that. The EOSC is already very mature initiative. And the projects that were already founded had developed already many things in that area, especially in the terms of accessibility rules and standardization, So the main thing that this important note about the former projects was saying is that what we develop now has to be interoperable what we already have. We don't want to invent the wheel again. There are people working on this initiative already, and we want to build on this, what was already done, and broaden it and enhance it, but not start from the scratch. Okay, we can go back to our, or there is, I see there is something written now. Okay, we'll back to this topic in the end if it's not sufficient. Okay. So, integrating and opening research infrastructures of the European interest. In many ways, it's a flagship of this program, because it's really touching the idea of European research area to join forces, to join our efforts, to open our resources we have in Europe for excellent researchers and give them opportunity to make excellent science. So, infra calls, integrating activities. What we mean by that is that we have networking integrated projects, both for new and for experienced consortia. The budget for these projects is from 5 to 10 million around, and it's around 5 million for the starting communities, around 10 million for the advanced communities. There are like 3 mandatory actions that all of these projects need to describe in the proposals and then deliver. And these are networking. What we mean by that is coordination between the infrastructures, common resources, databases access, establishing joint rules, staff exchange trainings, everything what we could do to enhance the capability of our staff to go in line with other researchers working in the same area in in different countries, in different laboratories. But we join our efforts, we build a network, and all these actions can be funded by the project. The second part, very important, is transnational and virtual access. There are, not everyone knows that this is connected to Horizon 2020 money, but it's a very important idea for the program. So the projects are preparing joint coordinated organization of access to their resources, whatever the resources are, if it's laser or the accelerator, or this is archive of Babylonian manuscripts. It differs for the project, and projects are providing free of charge access to these resources, to these laboratories, in a manner of open calls for the researchers. And the project is covering the cost of this. So the researcher that will win the call will be able to do his research free of charge. And the last point is joint research activities. So, as the name states, the partners of the consortium has some part of money put on their joint research activities, preparing new equipment, testing new methods, testing new equipment. Again, it differs on the area that is connected to the project. And what are the outcomes of this? First of all, as easy as possible access to the best infrastructures in Europe, and integrating resources between the national infrastructures, building this way connected, distributed pan-European infrastructure by this integrated project. Okay, as I said, we have two types of this. I will start with the advanced communities because chronologically speaking, it's closer to us. The deadline for the proposals is 20th of March 2019. And we are looking here for consortia who has already achieved some degree of coordination. Most of the time, these are communities that were already founded in the FP7 or Horizon 2020 framework programs. For example, as a starting community, and via this project, they developed already some level of coordination, and then they could apply as an advanced community for bigger project with bigger budget, but they are already on some level of building a network. For the 2019 call, we have 7 domains that are that are called. You can see the list. In every domain, there is at least one specific subdomain that is called by the Commission. So it's this is not really a bottom-up approach. This is what Commission together with member states designed that would like to support in the European research area these networks. So if you are interested in this, if you are already part of consortium of, for example, starting community, or then you can check if your community will be supported this year. And if you've never been a part of a project like that, you could see what communities will be founded. And if it's your area, you could look for contact with existing network and check maybe they are looking for your expertise to join the network and build a better consortium for that for this call. Sorry, for watering. Okay. The second type is starting communities. It's called for 2020, so the deadline will be in the late 2019 or the beginning of 2020. What we are looking here in are consortia that has never been founded by the framework programs in this scheme. So they were or didn't already have been founded starting at our advanced community. And this is a bottom-up approach. That means that there are no specific domains or subdomains in the work program. However, the European Commission would like to see one proposal per domain or subdomain. So if you see that there is a competition, that there are 2 consortia in the same topic wanting to build a network, that is highly probable that your proposal will be much better if you join efforts and build one strong European consortium, and not to go for competition with other researchers in the same area. That was supported here. And because we have over 100 million euros for this column, and the projects are supposed to be around 5 million euros each, that means that over 20 communities will be funded in 2020 by this scheme. Okay, and now there will be a part for the researcher, but as I said, it's very important from the point of view of the idea of this program. So make your research free of charge, and that's what is possible through these communities. So transnational access is, as I said before, an obligatory part of the integrating activity project, and there are some basic rules. First of all, you need to go abroad to another, even if there is a node of this project infrastructure in your country, to be found by this scheme, you need to go to another laboratory or another node of the network. Time to stay varies from 1 week to 3 months, or even from a few days to these 3 months, because it depends on what's your area of research. If you need to do your experiment for 2 months, because that's the area, that's the circumstances, then it's covered and already included in the integrated activity proposal, because these networks are built from people who know how to do research in this area. So you can be the way that you could be choose for this scheme is an open call proposal. You just have to prepare a good project from the scientific point of view, and as you see in these basic rules, the part of technical side, I would say, it's already covered, because project can pay for the research, but also for travel expenses, for accommodation in the country where it's located, access to infrastructure if it's needed to transfer your outcomes, and that's transnational access. There is also a possibility of virtual access, so you could use some infrastructures without leaving your home, just by operating this experiment via internet or some other connections. Okay, this is the little graph showing once again what does it mean to have integrated activity. We have these nodes, like national nodes, and the project that is gathering them. And to use the transnational access scheme, you need to approach directly to the project. These are the networking projects that are managing their call for proposals for the transnational access. How to find them? Now we will see this legend for the graph on the next slide. We have some colors that varies the areas of research. As then you can see, we already have a lot of projects, integrating activities that are supporting and facilitating transnational access. This big amount, and they varies in the way how many researchers they predict to be possible to be involved in the transnational access scheme. And that could be hard to find your way here, but there is a project, REACH project, that is gathering the efforts of research infrastructures NCPs, and the project is providing for you the list of these integrated activities with a search engine to search on the open calls to facilitate your access to these networks. So if you visit the REACH network website, you will find there in the transnational and virtual access page, you will find the search engine, when you can search by domains or type of access you are interested in. For example, we have here social sciences and humanities. We look for open calls, and as you see there, we have one result. It was done around a month ago when we were preparing the slides. And we have here Hyperion Research Infrastructure Network. It's a network on cultural heritage. So we have links to the project website. We can go for the website. And what's important, that the general rules for the transnational access are the same for all networks, but some specific for the area, specific rules for the calls of proposals could be applied. And as you can see here, it could also vary between the infrastructures in the network. So it's very important when you find your network you would like to apply to gain acquainted with the rules of transnational access for this particular network. But as you see, it's all available on their website. We have some rules here described. Okay, the other example, for example, physics and astronomy, open call. We have three results. First of it is AIDA 2020, a network for detectors and accelerators. Also, we have some links. As you see, they already have their tab for transnational access. And we can see here how to apply for the transnational access. We have, as you see, we have examples from very different areas of research, and the general rules are the same, but we need to check on always on the page of the project you would like to apply for. Okay, for those who would like to dig in the work program and are interested in the described calls, this is the reference document for that. I always encourage you to, maybe I don't discourage you from downloading these documents, but every time you are interested in the Horizon 20 calls, just go for the website, participant portal. Now it's changing into funding and tenders portal of the European Union, and there in the reference documents you will always find the up-to-date version of the work program. The changes are not always big. Most of the time there are small changes, but sometimes important ones. So to be on the safe side, always before you for the admission of your proposal, check the latest version of the work program. Okay, that's all I had prepared for today. Thank you for your attention. These are the contacts to us. I'm the main person responsible in our office for the research infrastructures part of the Horizon 2020 framework program, but there is also my colleague Adam, who is supporting me. If you have any questions in the later time, please feel free to mail me and we will try to help you. Okay, I hear that we had another question. Okay, I see there's another question about the infra-EOS call. I guess I need a little bit more insight. What's your idea with this? If I understand correctly, that means that you have already some idea in mind what you could propose for this call, but it's more an idea than technology. I need some more insight to answer this question. What are the opportunities for newcomers to join an Arise project? So, to join the integrating activities, as I said, we have two types of the communities, advanced and starting ones. And for the advanced, we need to look for already established community, and that is working in our field of research. And first of all, it's called this year. It's on the list in the work program for 2018 call. And get in touch with them. Also, you can use the network of research infrastructures and CPs to facilitate the contact and try to start cooperation with this network. For the starting communities, you can you need to look for other researchers from your own personal network of contacts, your contributors from other countries, to see if there is interest, there is readiness to build this European consortium to start to apply for this integrated activity for the starting communities. But what is important, you need to check if there isn't already a community in your field of research, because that's the eligibility criteria for the starting communities. There cannot be already established network. If there is established network, you need to approach them and start collaborating with them. Okay.
Do we have any more questions? If you would like to ask a question, you can use the note board on the left. If not, you can always write to us later using the emails shown on the screen, and also my email, and also the project EIP+. The presentation was recorded, and the recording would be put on the YouTube channel of the EaP+ project. The presentation will also be available in the PDF format on the project webpage, and it will show up probably next week. That's probably the reply to the last question. Yes, the presentation will be on the EIP+ project website in PDF format for you to download and use, and write your questions to us later, and the recording on YouTube. And I think one more question will be coming. No. So if you don't have any more questions, we will stop here and welcome your questions later by email. And thank you all for joining. Best greetings to all of you from Poland, from Warsaw, and hope to hear from you in the future. And please join our webinars in the future. Goodbye and best wishes to all.